Good morning, students of 6th ICSE. How are you all, students? I hope you all are doing good and well. Last week you wrote the midterm examination and you would have submitted the notebook to the school. Okay, now we will see the video. I have taught last class about geography, unit 1, the geographical features. I taught you what is geography and gave the introduction of the geographical features, and then with the picture I showed what all the topics, and in nutshell I told you what all we are going to learn in this lesson from introduction to till the importance of map we learned last class. With the help of a globe I explained what is globe, and then about the map in detail we learned what is map, and also the different symbols, what all the scales we use in the map, and below the scale we learned the how to measure the scale by statement and by the numeric fractions and graphic or linear scale, and then about the small scale and large scale of the map, and I taught you about the direction of the maps. There are so many directions we learned from the last class, and about the what is the how to find the direction by bearing and finding the direction using the magnets, and also by the showing the Meridius campus, how the directions are shown, and the conventional signs and symbols of the maps. And now let us see some of the importance of the maps, what all we have learned till map, and we will see the importance. What is the importance of the map? Maps provide records of facts about the earth. Maps help us to understand the landforms. Maps are useful and important for academic purposes. The government need map for administrative purposes. The topo sheets render timely help during military operations. Maps are needed for planning and development of a country. Maps are useful for tourists and travelers, as the maps can help them to reach their destinations. Pictorial maps can help us to learn and understand even complex facts in their proper relationship. A map is a guide for individual in general and for government in particular. Okay, students, now this week we are going to learn about some of the topics below the maps, that is sketch, plan, diagrams and so on. Now let us see what is sketch. Clearly you can see the picture, how the sketch of the map is there. So I'll explain what is the sketch. We want to help, suppose if we want to help a new student in a class to locate and reach the neighborhood bookshop, we would draw a rough diagram of road to show where to turn and which landmark to look out for in order to reach the bookshop. With this rough diagram, the new student can reach the bookshop easily. Even though the exact distance and directions are not mentioned, such a rough diagram which is drawn without a scale and without a proper use of signs and symbols is called a sketch. You can see in diagram 1.6 what is the sketch of this map, how to find the direction. Is in nutshell I told you how the students knew. If we want to show the direction, just we will do a rough diagram and show them the directions and the landmark of where this person has to reach that destination. That is called the sketch of this map. Let's see what is the plan. What is the plan? Sometimes we want to draw an accurate map of a very small area like that of house or a building. This map is called a plan or layout. Yes, suppose if we are planning to build a house or anything, factories, just we will call an engineer or ask them to give some plan for that building. That is called the layout plan. The layout plan shows the length and breadth of each room in the house and the height of doors and windows. Such an accurate map of a very small area which shows even the detail is called a plan. A plan is always drawn according to the scale. The scale of a plan is different from that of a map. Generally, a map represents a large area, so it is drawn on a small scale. Already we learned what is small scale and large scale. For this plan, we have to draw the on a small scale. 1 centimeter on a map may represent 100 kilometer on the ground. On the other hand, a plan is drawn on a large scale. 1 centimeter on a plan represent just 1 meter on the ground. Thus, to sum up, we can say a globe is a human made model of the earth. Already we learnt in last class what is the globe. A map shows either a large area without details or a small area with details. It is drawn according to scale. A sketch is a rough diagram drawn without a scale. A plan shows a very small area with great details. It is drawn on a large scale. That's all about the plan. We learn sketch and then plan. Now we will see what is the diagrams. Diagrams are used to show different physical features. Let us read about some physical features and see how they are represented through diagrams. First, in rivers, what we will see in the river? The water move down the slope. When it rains, some of the rainwater moves down the hill slope and forms small streams. Many small streams join together form a river. Yes, this rainwater comes down the slope and the small stream, and this joins together and form a river. Next, what this river will do? Joins the lake. How it joins the lake? The place from where a river originates is called its source. The source of a river may be a spring, a lake, or a glacier. It is joined to the lake. And then we have a tributary. To join the lake, we have a place where a river joins a lake, a sea, or an ocean. It is also called as the mouth where the river joins the lake. Then we have the tributary. What is tributary? You can see in the picture clearly. A smaller river that joins a large river and contribute its water to the larger river is called the tributary of the larger river. You can see in the picture 1.8 also it is clearly given. The area drained by the river and its tributaries is called a river basin. You can see in the figure 1.9 the tributary. Then we have the meanders. What is the meander? Clearly the picture is shown. What is a meander? When a river leaves the mountains and enters the plains, its flow is no longer swift. The river twists and turns to form large bends or loops. You can see in the picture, students, the meander, it has so many bends and curves. Okay, its twists are there. These bends are called the meanders. Exactly, these bends are called meanders. The word meander is derived from the name of a winding river called Meanders in Turkey, which has numerous bends in its course. This is called the meanders. Next, we'll see the distributary. What is a distributary? This water which comes from the mountain, we have slopes, forms in the lake, forms small streams, and the meanders is formed. From this, the water is distributed to so many other places. When a river reaches near its mouth, it carries a large volume of water and sediment. The speed of the river also decreases. Thus, the excess sediment is deposited as sandbars in the wider river canals. The sandbars divided the main river canal into several canals called tributaries. You can see in the picture also 1.11. I have also shown the picture here. A distributary does not rejoin the main river. Next, we will see what is delta. Yes, it is a triangular shaped land formed between the distributaries. Yes, when the waters are distributed where the sediments are there, we can see the triangular shaped landform between the tributaries due to the deposition of sediment. That is called the delta. The word delta is derived from the Greek letter delta. The word was first used by the Greek historian Herodotus for the triangular depositional land on the mouth of the Nile River. The delta formed by the Ganga and the Brahmaputra rivers is the largest in the world. This is about the delta. You can clearly see the picture how this triangular shape is formed due to the sediments of the tributaries. Now we are going to see what is anticline and syncline. In the picture you can see the arrow mark is clearly given what is anticline and what is syncline. When the sedimentary rocks are compressed, wave-like bends called folds are formed. In a fold, the arch or the unfold is called the anticline, and the rod or a downfold is called the syncline. Rough part is called the syncline, and the folded one is called the anticline. Now we will see the block mountains. Can you see the mountains are like block shape? A block mountain is formed by those forces which can cause faults or cracks in the earth's crust. These faults can break the earth's crust into blocks. When these blocks are raised, block mountains are formed. A block mountain can also be formed if the blocks on either side of the fault subside. The subsided part forms the Rift Valley. In the picture we can see clearly the Rift Valley, the block mountain, the Rift Valley is also formed. Okay children, that's all about this geographical features. We have divided this lesson into two parts, and one part is already taught, and today we have seen the remaining part of this lesson. Now let us see the summary of this lesson. A globe is a small human-made model of the earth. The representation of the earth as a whole or a part of it drawn to a scale on a flat surface is called a map. The scale is the ratio between the map distance and the ground distance. It is shown on a map in three ways. What are the three ways? By a statement, by a numerical fraction, and by a graphic or linear scale. The method in which the scale of a map is started in words is called a statement. The method in which the ratio between the map distance and the ground distance is given as a fraction is called numerical fraction or representative fraction. The method in which the map distance is shown using a straight line is called a graphic or linear scale. According to scale, there are two types of maps: small scale and large scale maps. The map which shows a very large area with less detail is called a small scale map, while the map which shows a very small area in detail is called a large scale map. Less area in detail called small, and small area in detail is called the large scale map. The direction on a map or on a ground is always shown with respect to the north. Directions can be found with the help of the rising sun, the pole star, and the magnetic or Mariner's compass. Different colors, signs, symbols, and letterings are used to show information on a map. They are called conventional signs and symbols. A sketch is a rough diagram drawn with a scale. A plan is an accurate map of a very small area. It is drawn on a large scale. The different physical features are also represented through diagrams. Yes, with the pictures I have taught you this topic of this geographical features, children. I think you would have understood. If you are not understanding, just you can go through the video again and again. Okay, students, now we will see some of the hard words of this geographical features. The first one is geographical: satellites, conventional, numeric, cadastral, topographic, sketch, distributary, anticline, syncline. Okay, student, that's all about this geographical features. See the videos and be benefited, and what all the instruction I am giving in the Zoom class, please follow that. In Zoom class you will be having a small test every week. Thank you, students. Take care.